The former Deputy President of the Senate, Ike Ekweremadu, is back at the West Minister Magistrates Court, the United Kingdom, for the continuation of his trial. Recall that Senator Ekweremadu and his wife, Beatrice, were arrested by the British police on 23rd of June on allegations of human trafficking and organ harvesting that violates the country's Modern Slavery Act. The police authorities had accused the lawmaker of conspiring to bring a child to the United Kingdom for organ harvesting, saying the victim is a 15-year-old boy. It was alleged that a 15-year-old individual was taken off the street of Lagos by a criminal guy for the purpose of organ harvesting. Justice Ike Ekweremadu of a Federal High Court in Abuja on Wednesday ordered the National Identification Management Commission to immediately release the biodata of David Upo, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, for onward transmission to the United Kingdom court. The court issued the order following a request by the Commission and in response to the request of the detained lawmaker to defend himself in a London court. A bit of politics now. Women in the All Progressives Congress are mobilizing support for the party's presidential candidate in the 2023 elections. The group is also calling for all party leaders to work together and ensure unity ahead of the polls. Correspondent Abida Lawal reports.
Women tend to be more effective than men at mobilizing voters, especially their own gender. They are considered particularly effective due to their powers of persuasion and perform the supportive role usually for public gatherings and meetings during political campaign. Oftentimes, women leaders try to push their members to take on more prominent roles in mobilizing the voters by ensuring their access to basic facilities and trainings before and during the campaign. This women group is advocating a female running mate for the APC presidential flag bearer. They are also pledging their support for the APC candidate with a promise of mobilizing massively for the general election.
If you take the percentage of voters in any election, women are always about 75%. So they are much more committed than the men, much more patient, So we are mobilizing them to participate, to come out and get their PVC, also mobilize their children, their friends, to also get their PVC so that their voice can be heard, so that their vote can count.
With members from across the 36 states of the country, the group says Nigerians are tired of politicians who promise to provide good governance to the masses during electioneering campaigns but ended up disappointing them.
We can make noise, we can show love, we can show all the interest, but without registering for the election, it is our civic responsibility to get registered and vote for person of our choice, the person that we know he has done it. We've seen what he has done in Lagos State. We want him to come around again and replicate what he has done in Lagos State.
We will garner like 40% of the votes, I can assure you that. Because we are all over the states, all over the 36 states. So definitely that's our target, to garner 40% of the votes, women.
According to them, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has a good track record in the provision of security and infrastructure, as well as the management of the state economy for collective prosperity. Habida Lawal, TVC News, Abuja.
In Osun State, an election observer group, Yaga Africa, has called on security agencies to ensure the arrest and prosecution of whoever tries to cause crisis ahead of the July 16th governorship election. This follows the group's findings about activities of some suspected political thugs and cultists in some parts of the state. Hamid reports.
It's about 10 days to the Osun State governorship election, and political parties have intensified their campaigns across various local governments. Alignment and realignment are also going on by politicians and political parties in order to gain favor of the electorate. However, activities of some suspected political thugs in some local governments call for concern. Addressing journalists in Osogbo to present the pre-election observation report, Director of Programs Yaga Africa expressed worry about the tense political atmosphere.
While YAG Africa commends the recent arrest of some political thugs by the police, there is an urgent need for more intelligence to be deployed by the police in addressing this rising threat to ensure that citizens and election materials and INEC officials are duly protected. In addition, we also call for more intelligence to be deployed for arrest and prosecution of culprits causing mayhem in the communities.
To increase electoral transparency and accountability, INEC should make the PVC collection data public in the state and make the information available on its website. The Commission should improve communication on its processes and procedures ahead of the election, especially on the deployment of technologies and applications.
Elsewhere, the Ataoja of Osogbo, Obajima Olanipekun, says he never anointed any candidate ahead of July 16 governorship election.
Hereby I sat here in particular that the people of Osogbo appreciate the good work of the present party in government in the state of Osun. I will not do anything to truncate the peace and tranquility of the state in general and Osogbo in particular. I appeal to the sons and daughters of Osogbo to go out en masse peacefully on the 16th of July to vote for the candidate of their choice without any act of violence or bias.
He expressed his loyalty to Governor Adegboyega Itola and his government. Rafiu Hamid, TVC News, Osogbo.
Away from election stories, the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund says it has commenced the automation processes for enhanced efficiency. The government agency is also extending its tentacles to workers in the private and informal sector. TVC News correspondent Jokadisa.
Last 3 months, the agency says it has moved closer to automating its processes for improved efficiency and effectiveness. It has also paid over 300 million naira in claims and compensation to deserving workers.
These paid claims and compensations cover medical expense refund, loss of productivity, disability benefits to injured employees, death benefits to next of kin or deceased employees, and retirement benefits to disabled employees.
We have expanded to get all of them into this safety net and ensure that when any Nigerian is involved in a workplace accident or work-related accident, succor will come their way.
More importantly, it has commenced the inclusion of workers in the informal sector in line with the provisions of the Act establishing it. So far, over 1,000 artisans, including roadside mechanics, tailors and hairdressers, have been enrolled into the employer's compensation scheme.
We have enrolled more than 1,000 of them. I'll give you examples of them. Some of them are traders, artisans, farmers, transporters, Okada drivers, taxi drivers, hairdressers.
The outbreak of COVID-19
so we go straight to
the agency in determining the fate of an employee down with the virus.
On their way to work and all their way back from work, they are covered. When they get injured, die as a result of that. Now, collaboration with the police and the federal government and other parastatals that could help the roads become a safe place to travel.
Among the expected gains of the proposed automation of the NSITF processes are improvement in service delivery and blockage of all financial and productivity leakages. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.